Welcome to our second week in this series of emotional meditations. During the next week, I'm going to talk about some of the emotions that we find particularly challenging, the kinds of emotions that fall into the uneasy, uncomfortable camp, the kinds of emotions that tend to get a really bad press and yet are actually really vital to our health and our well-being. Vital to our ability to navigate our lives successfully. So let's start with aggression. Let's deepen our understanding of the healthy nature of aggression. A while ago, I listened to a talk given by Dr. Christiane Northrup, and she asked her audience a question. What is the most ferocious animal in the jungle? The answers were mixed. A lion, a tiger, maybe a bear. Her reply was very straightforward. She said, "It's a mother lion. It's a mother tiger. It's a mother bear. It's a mother something." And she's absolutely right. If we were to approach a lioness with cubs, she would respond to us with pure aggression. But we don't view this as unhealthy or bad or negative. She is responding with pure, healthy, protective, nurturing, ferocious aggression. And we understand and we respect her. We know that it's appropriate for her to feel angry and defensive towards us. She's entitled to feel that way. It's completely natural and completely appropriate. If we think about our emotions as raw emotional components that are essential and valuable and vital to us, then we can begin to see that every emotion we have has a place in our lives and a part to play in our ability to navigate our lives successfully. The problem is never the raw emotional component itself. It's what we do with it. And of course, what we do with any of our more challenging emotions will depend on the kind of relationship that we have with that emotion. It will depend on our ability to know and to understand that emotion, to have a healthy relationship with it, to know when, where, and how to express that emotion appropriately. The raw emotional component of healthy, protective, ferocious aggression is vital to our capacity to be fully engaged in any form of care, including self-care. To stand our ground and have a voice, we need healthy aggression integrated into our emotional vocabulary. It gives us information and it powers us up when needed. This raw emotional component also fuels assertiveness, motivation, pride and passion. When we believe in something with a passion, when we strive for justice, this healthy, raw emotional component of aggression fuels our desire to make a difference and it fires us into action. When we suppress or shut down our healthy, appropriate aggression, we tend to lack motivation and our frustrations and our anger build up. In my experience, when this happens, people tend to handle this in one of two ways. They either turn it inwardly, directing anger at themselves, squashing and stifling their own sense of entitlement to have a voice and be heard. Or they end up exploding outwardly. Something will happen, often relatively small and insignificant, and they explode, hurting not only others but themselves as well. Their reaction is out of proportion to the situation. Instead of reacting appropriately in the here and now, they have reacted with the stored up anger that belongs to the previous 50 things that they stifled and chose to ignore. In both situations, navigating the world in a way that actively embraces care of both themselves and others is limited. We need this vital, raw, emotional component of pure, healthy, nurturing, protective, ferocious aggression to navigate our lives and to make healthy choices. In The Secret Side of Anger, Janet Pfeiffer very insightfully says, "Peace isn't the absence of fighting. Peace is the presence of kindness." So let's welcome healthy aggression with kindness, compassion, and understanding, and make a commitment to integrate healthy aggression into our emotional vocabulary. Let's meditate together. As we begin this meditation, we will focus on our thought for today. Healthy ferocity fuels passion and care. Healthy ferocity fuels passion and care. In the first part of our meditation, as you hear the singing bowl, we will focus on allowing the release of any stored up emotional tension. We will also be mindful to release any need for self-analysis or mental understanding of any of our emotions that surface. And we'll give ourselves permission to release any concerns, any kind of criticism, and any judgment about the way that we feel. In the second part of our meditation, as you hear the singing bowl again, we will move to a place of stillness, a place of calm, a place of thoughtful limits, knowing that we can choose to return to a place of further release at a later time. Now, making sure that you're in a safe place, get into a comfortable position and close your eyes. Breathe naturally, gently and deeply. As you breathe out, notice any areas of your body where you're carrying tension, and encourage that part of your body to relax. Many of us have had profoundly difficult experiences with aggression and with anger. Many of us will have some kind of difficult history associated with this particular emotion. It's an emotion that so many people struggle with. Simply allow any tension and any emotional energy that's still held in your body to surface, without any judgment, without any blame. No need to know and no criticism. As emotions surface, simply allow their release and then return yourself to breathing gently. So many of us have learned to be afraid of anger and aggression. Without ever realizing how much vitality it brings to our lives. So many of us have had difficult and challenging experiences with this core emotional component. And as a consequence, we simply don't know how to handle this emotion in ways that serve us. It can often spark fear and anxiety. So let's welcome any emotional tension that we may have stored up historically. Any emotional tension that may have arisen from difficult experiences associated with anger and aggression. Knowing that we are now on a journey of emotional discovery. And when we release any historically held emotional tension in our body, it doesn't mean that if something dreadful happened to us in the past, that was okay. But it is very important that we are allowed to release that tension, and that as adults we can now take charge of our lives and not tie ourselves to our past experiences. We can grow from an experience. We can release any emotional tension that we're still holding, and we can move our lives forwards to a different place. We can often have a lot of sadness if we've experienced any aggression and anger in a destructive way. So it's very important to just allow ourselves to let this go. We can clear the way for new perceptions and for new opportunities. Gently letting go. It's time to place a safe boundary around this part of our meditation. It's time to bring the release of emotions to a close. As we clear the space within ourselves, we can begin to relax and move gently into a space of stillness, a space of presence and a space of calm. Continue to breathe naturally, gently and deeply. And as you hear the singing bowl again, we'll draw our meditation to a close. It is time to draw our meditation to a close. From time to time during the day, remind yourself of our thought for today. Healthy ferocity fuels passion and care. Healthy ferocity fuels passion and care. Keep this thought in your mind, perhaps write it on a piece of paper and carry it with you. And let's be mindful that as adults, we can take charge of our choices and our opportunities. And this includes learning to embrace and welcome any of the more challenging, raw emotional components that we actually do need if we are to live a flourishing and thriving life. A life in which we have a voice. A life in which we can confidently step up and stand up for the things that we believe in. Take care.